Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about, something that doesn't always get discussed enough, unfortunately, because when things become fads, they become popular, there become books about them. People like to ascribe benefits to them that aren't really real. So I want to cover something from the perspective of someone who has always had an interest in fasting. It's a tool I have used at different points in my life. I don't necessarily endorse it though, right? I don't jump out and say, hey, it's a great thing that every single person should do. And I want to be clear as to why that is. And it's because it is useful for some people for controlling body fat, okay, for controlling appetite. And many people have had great success using that. So again, understanding that something is simply a tool that is beneficial to many people but not everyone, and understanding why is important when we're discussing the different tools in our toolbox. Now, I like to keep up with the current science on this sort of stuff, and one of the things that's interesting to me, I had said years ago I wanted to see what the different science said. It was looking to be promising as far as health benefits. And keep in mind, there's enormous funding for this. So when it comes to something like intermittent fasting, because so many religions use fasting around the world, there are obviously a lot of wealthy and influential people who are part of those religions around the world, and they've been willing to fund studies on this stuff. So the funding is there. We need to be clear. There is actually a potential for bias in the direction of fasting because it is such a widely held belief. So what the studies have generally found is that outside of the fat loss and weight loss aspects, there are no health benefits. So when you see people like Dr. Fung and others who've written all this stuff, other doctors have debunked his work, by the way. Like quite a few medical doctors have said, yeah, this is ridiculous. So again, people say, well, but he's a doctor, so he would know. Except that most other doctors look at it and laugh and say it's laughable and what he's saying isn't true. Like medically speaking. So put that in perspective. So if you have a doctor who says something and 10 other doctors come up and say he's just messing with you guys, he's trying to do something to make a buck, what he's saying is not even medically true, and that person is making a profit selling books and stuff on that topic, that's a good time to say maybe them being a doctor is not is not useful in this case. Just putting that out there. But here's the thing. Some people are like, but I got all these benefits from fasting and this stuff improving my health and my blood work. Well, did you lose weight? Did you lose weight doing it? And like, yeah. Well, then that agrees with the research. The research says, has shown overall, and we're talking meta-analysis, that all of the benefits of fasting come from the fat loss. Not some, not half, but all. Like there seems to be absolutely no health benefits that they can find beyond the fat loss. And people say, well, that can't be right because I saw a big improvement in my blood work. Yeah, because you lost fat. That is how bad being obese is. So from a health perspective, carrying 20 or 30 extra pounds of body fat is a pretty big deal. Okay? So if someone says, hey, I lost 20 pounds of fat doing something, well, I would expect your blood work to improve. Like if you didn't have good health markers and you lost 20 pounds of fat, I would expect your energy to go up. I would expect your mood to go up. I would expect possibly less depression. I would expect improved libido, possibly improved sleep because maybe you had some sleep apnea from the extra fluff around your throat. Okay? Your fasting glucose should probably improve, your blood pressure, your lipid profile, all those things. Also, your inflammation markers should go down. You know, people will say, but, like things like my A1C and stuff went down, my inflammatory markers. It's like, well, body fat is extremely inflammatory as a tissue in your body. So if you lost 20 or 30 pounds of body fat, wouldn't you expect your inflammatory markers to improve? I would. Doesn't matter whether you did it through fasting or something else, you lost body fat. Okay? That is what happened. You see where we're going with this? So again, let's come over to that point. If a person tells me that they have found intermittent fasting a valuable tool for losing body fat and then that improved their health, then that's a good thing, right? We would look at that and say, well, yeah, that's good, that's great. That's what we would like to see. It was useful as a weight loss tool, and that weight loss improved your life. Of course it did. So let's get over and explain why. Simply put, for many people, they will eat less calories. They will eat less calories and less food if they fast. Okay, not everyone. That's kind of the take home. But the thing is, it makes it easier to control appetite. If you come over and you say, okay, I fast for 16 or 18, I'll say 18 hours a day, right? You have a 6-hour feed window. It's simply harder to get more food in. Okay? It's more difficult to get more food in. Now, we could argue about potential issues with muscle gain there. But I suppose it depends on the person, and if you're eating a diet that's mostly whole foods with slower absorption, slower digesting, your protein may be okay as far as spacing it out. That's the only big argument against it, and it is a valid argument, that total net muscle protein synthesis could be a problem with less protein feedings. So how do you get around that? Eat more protein. Like if you go above and beyond your normal protein needs for gaining muscle, this is around 1 point, approximately your ideal is about 1.5 grams per kilo of body weight. Okay, so someone my size, that's about 150 grams of protein. If you increase that to compensate for being inside that feed window, I think it'll be okay. I don't think it'll cause a negative. I personally, and again, this is my hypothesis, unproven, I'm going to lean in the direction of I think it's going to actually be good. It'll be okay. Right? So your solution there, again, trying to gain muscle, just increase your protein. Come over to the Martin Berkhan method that he did with all that, and he was like, yeah, get half your calories from protein. Now you put yourself into a feed window, whatever, like a 6-hour feed window every day, and you eat a ton of protein. And you make sure there's some whole foods in there, and fruits and vegetables and all that goodness, things we should be eating. But you eat a really high protein diet. Right? You start exceeding 1 gram per pound of body weight. Exceeding it. All right, now you're in a real good place. Now you've got the potential to really improve your body composition. Okay, and you're not going to have a big serious bulk that way probably, but you could do a lean bulk, you could do recomps, definitely do weight loss. Yeah, that's workable. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.